Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this 3D beaded fig charm. So this is what it looks like on the back and on the front, and if you want to turn this into a charm I would suggest using a head pin straight through the middle and then creating a loop that way. So this is what we're going to be making today. So to make one of these you're going to need some size 11 seed beads in a dark purple. This is the one that I'm using. This is Miyuki and that's the colour number. You'll also need a cream bead. I'm using this Preciosa one because it's the only cream that I've got, and that is the colour. And you need like a peachy orangey red for the middle, and this one I found works really well. This is also Miyuki round seed bead. And then, like I said, you'll need a head pin if you want to turn this into a charm, and you'll need a beading needle. I'm using a size 12 hemline hand beading needle. I get asked a lot what needles I use. That is mainly the type that I use. You can buy them online. They're available here in the UK in kind of like all the craft stores and anywhere that sells like sewing equipment. And I get asked a lot about the curve. So they don't come like this, they come flat and straight. But as I use it over time, it gets a curve from how I hold it and how I work with it. It makes it easier to work with. So no, they don't come curved. They come straight, but they're very, very flexible, not like a regular sewing needle. So it does get a curve over time. Back to this, you'll also need your beading thread. I'm using 6-pound fireline. Again, I'd recommend fireline or wildfire for this so that it holds up the shape well with the heaviness of the beads pulling them in. These two threads will hold the shape really well. So I'm using 6-pound fireline in crystal, and I will leave the amount down below in the description box so you can find it there. So I've threaded my needle onto my thread and I've laid my beads out, and we're going to start with the orange colour. You can start by picking up 3 of that colour and sliding it down until it's 4 inches from the end. And then from here you're going to go round and through the first bead. Oops. So you have this, sticking with that same colour, picking up one and going straight through the next one. Same thing again, same colour, picking up one, straight through the next one. And again, picking up one, coming out of here, straight through the next one and through the one after that as well. Like that. This time picking up 2, still with that same colour. Now we're coming out of here, skipping over one and going through the next one. Picking up 2, now we're coming out of here, skipping over one and through the next one. And picking up 2, coming out of here, I'm going to skip over one, through the next one and up through the one above. Now we're going to move forward through one bead before we carry on. So far we have this. Then we're going to pick up 2 again, skipping over one and going through the next 2 beads. Pick up 2, skipping over one, going through the next 2. And again pick up 2, same colour, skip over one through the next 2 and up through one above. From here you're going to move forward through one more bead. Okay, so right now we have this. Now we'll swap into our cream colour. So start by picking up 2. We're skipping over 2 this time, going through the next 1. You don't want to go through both of those, just through the first one. Now we're picking up 1 and going straight through that next bead. Keep that pulled nice and tight. Now picking up 2, skipping over 2 through the next one. Now picking up 1, coming out of here, straight through the next bead. Then pick up 2, skip over 2 and through the next one. And then picking up 1, coming out of here, straight through the next one, and then up through the 2 above. And pull that nice and tight, and you should have this. So next row, sticking with the cream all the way around, so picking up 2, coming out of these 2, go straight, skipping that orange one underneath and straight through the next cream one. Picking up 2, coming out of here, you're going to skip that orange one through the next 2 cream. Pick up 2, again skipping an orange one through the next cream one. Picking up 2, skipping the orange one through the next 2 cream. Pick up 2, skip the orange one through the next cream one. Finally picking up 2, skipping the orange one through the next 2 cream. Make sure they sit nicely like that, and then up through the 2 above as well. Then what you're going to do is pick up 2 more cream. Coming out of here, you're going to skip over 1, go through the next 2. So we have this. So now we'll swap into our purple. So picking up 2 purple. Oops. Coming out of this bead, you're going to skip over 2 and go through the next 2. Then picking up 2 purple again. Now we're coming out of here, you're going to skip 1, go through the next 2. If they don't look like they're going to fit properly at the moment, it doesn't matter. When we do the next row, it's going to kind of start building up this way and it'll all work out. And then picking up 2, skipping over 2, through the next 2. Pick up 2 purple, skip over 1, through the next 2. Picking up 2 again, skipping over 2, and then this time, instead of going through the next group of 2, we're just going to go through 1. So we're skipping over 2 and through the next 1. Picking up 2, skipping over 1 through those 2 that we added on the top. pick up 2, skip over 1, through 1 and up through the 2 purple that we started the row with. Oops. Like that. Pull that through, pull it nice and tight, and you should have this. So again, we're doing groups of 2 and we're doing purple, picking up 2, skipping over 2 and through the next 2 purple. Pick up 2, skip over 2, through the next 2 purple. Pick up 2, skip over 2, through the next 2 purple. When you're pulling these ones through, don't pull them too tightly yet, because when it gets to the end it's going to start to curve up, but we want them all leaning in towards the middle rather than out towards the edge. So just don't pull it too tightly just yet. Picking up 2, skipping over 2, through the next 2 purple. Picking up 2, skipping over 1, through the next 2. Picking up 2, skipping over 2, through the next 2. And picking up 2, skipping over 1, through 2 and through the 2 above, so through these 2 underneath and then up through the 2 above as well. Now you can pull that really tight and just make sure, like I said, that as you pull it tight you push them all in towards the centre. So we have this. Same thing again, 2 purple all the way around, so picking up 2. We're coming out of this bead here, you're going to skip 2, go through the next 2 purple on the top row. Picking up 2, coming out of here, skip over 2 and go through the next 2 on the top row. Picking up 2, skipping over 2 and through the 2 after that. Pick up 2, skip over 2, go through the next 2. Picking up 2, skipping over 2 and going through the next 2. Again, picking up 2, skipping over 2 and going through the next 2. Oops. Picking up 2, skipping over 2, through the next 2, and then up through the 2 above as well. Okay, pull that through, pull that nice and tight. So right now you have this. Okay, so this row we're going to start with, again, 2 purple, skipping over 2 and going through the next 2. Picking up 2 purple, skip over 2 and go through the next 2. Picking up 2, skipping over 2, through the next 2. Pick up 2, skip over 2, through the next 2. This time we're just going to pick up 1, skip over 2 and go through the next 2. Now picking up 2 again, skipping over 2, through the next 2, and picking up 2, skipping over 2, through the next 2 and up through the 2 above. So coming out here, skip these 2 go through the next 2 and through the 2 above. Pull that nice and tight. This next row we're going to start by picking up 2 purple. Sorry for the background noise, our neighbour's having work done. Skip over 2, go through the next 2. Stopped when I said that. You're probably wondering what background noise I'm talking about. And then picking up 1, skipping over 2 and going through 2. Remember, only picking up 1 that time. Pick up 2 this time, skip over 2, go through the next 2. This row by putting different amounts in different places, we're creating the shape to stay like this permanently. Now picking up 1, skipping over 2, and going through that single bead at the top there. Again, picking up 1, skipping over 2, going through the next 2, pick up 2, skip over 2, through the next 2, and then picking up 1. Oh, sorry, we're skipping over 2, then through the next 2, and up through the 2 above. Pull that through, pull that nice and tight. So we have this. This row we're going to be adding single beads, so picking up 1, coming out of here, you're going to skip over 2, go through that next 1. Pick up 1, again skip over 2, go through the next 2. Picking up 1. We're coming out of here, we're going to skip over 2, and then we're going to go through these next 2 beads here in the centre that are moving in towards the centre and the top row. So coming out of here, skipping over 2, going through these next 2 beads. Then picking up 1, skipping over 2, through the next 2. Picking up 1, skipping over 2, through the next 1. And then picking up 1, you're going to skip over 2, through the next 2, and up through the 1 above. Like that. Pull that really tight, and so you start to close up like this. From here, I'm going to move straight through this next bead. Then I'm going to pick up 1, skip over 2, go through the next 1. From here, moving around, down through this next one, because we're working in this circle. Down through this next bead without adding a bead. Then picking up 1, just turning it round, skipping over 2, through the next 1. Now again, without adding a bead, I'm going to go straight through this next bead. I'm going to pick up 1, skip over 2, through the next 1. From here, moving up and into that first one we added in this row, so through the next one and the one above as well. Now we have this, and we're going to pick up a bead coming out of this one. You're going to go straight across through this one opposite, from the top to the bottom, like that. Now you're going to move from here across through this one on the bottom without picking up a bead. Now up and pull it tight, back across through this one in the middle. From here I'm going to go up through this one above, cross through this one, and back across through that one right in the middle. So that is the back all closed up, and this is what we have. So this is what the fig looks like at the end. Now what you could do if you didn't want to use a head pin is take your needle all the way up to the top here. So here's the middle, so find the middle two purple beads on the top, which is these two, which are right above the two cream beads at the top. And then from here you would create a loop of beads, say 3 beads, jump ring, 3 beads, and then circle through that a few times just to make it really secure. So you could turn it into a charm that way as well. But now I'm going to show you what to do once you've done that, is to tie your knots. So I do that on the back of the piece just so that it's not as visible. So wherever you're coming out of, you want to take your needle, find the thread that connects the 2 beads, and take your needle under the thread. Pull that through, go up through the loop from bottom to top twice. So when that knot tightens, it's going to tighten around that thread. Pull that through, pull it really tight, and then move on through a couple of beads. And again, pull really tight and it should disappear inside the bead. And then continue to tie knots in the same way until you feel like it's really secure. Once you've tied your last knot, make sure you leave enough thread that you can move far away from your knot before you cut your thread, just to stop the chance of it unravelling over time. Then you can cut off thread, and then you need to thread your needle onto your tail thread and move your way around to the back and tie your knots in the same way, and then you'll be finished. So once you've cut off all your threads or attached your head pin or your jump ring or split ring, then that is you all finished. So this is how it turned out. Very cute. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you're able to make one of these little figs. Comment down below anything else you'd like to see. Subscribe if you enjoyed so you don't miss more of my videos. And you can follow me on Instagram at Beadingbyhannah. Thanks so much for watching everyone. See you next time. Bye.